In this video, we're upgrading a 2004 Mini Cooper with a basic head unit to a modern Eonon X3U that adds wireless Apple CarPlay and wireless Android Auto. And we're also wiring up a backup camera. Hey everyone, I'm Nick and welcome to the channel. Today, as you just saw, we're installing a single DIN head unit that really modernizes a car with wireless Android Auto and wireless Apple CarPlay. The unit is the Eonon X3U, so let's check it out. And it's very compact, as you can see. Comes with a user manual, some harnesses, and a backup camera. Now the unit itself has a 6.36 inch screen and a volume knob, which is really nice. So if you ever need to turn the volume down quickly, you don't have to fumble with buttons, just turn it and you're done. So you can see the screen is very slightly taller than the single DIN slot, but it should be easy to install in any car with a single DIN slot. So on the back we have standard ISO connectors and some other audio outputs. These are our two harness connectors. We've got the audio side and the power and other signals. So things like constant 12 volts, ground, accessory switch 12 volts, antenna illumination, keys, and things like that. We got an extra fuse included to replace this one, and a pair of radio removal keys. On the radio itself, we also have the mounting cage here. It's got the clips right here that will retain the radio. And these keys would slot through these openings right here. You just have to punch through them to release it from the cage. On the front here, we have a USB input, so you could play your own music files, and we have an aux input as well. So if you want to plug in something to play music from, you can do that. Now in the manual, we have information on the interface, how to use it with wireless Android Auto and Apple CarPlay, all the adjustments you can make, and a description of what all the plugs do. So we have our left and right inputs, some video inputs, and this one down here is for the backup camera. And right here we have an FM antenna input. Now, depending on the car you install this in, you may need a different type of adapter for the FM antenna. Those are usually easy to find when you look up your car model and antenna adapter. So, and then right here, we have the backup camera. So you can mount this inside or outside the car. It's got one plug for the RCA video part and one plug for the 12 volt. Some screws for mounting. A cable for the 12 volt source. Usually you would wire this to the reversing light. So when you put the car into reverse, the light turns on, it sends power to the camera. So it turns on and the head unit will automatically switch to the reverse view. And then we have a cable to run from the back of the head unit to the camera. And we also have a microphone that'll let us get clear audio in phone calls and for voice assistance in Android Auto or Apple CarPlay. So now that we've seen the radio and everything that's included, let's go install this in the car. Now before we install the Eonon radio, I do want to point out that this is already an aftermarket head unit, so the installation from scratch may be slightly different, but we're really focusing on the new head unit. And I know some people are going to ask me, can you retain the navigation screen up top? And the answer is I'm not sure, because this is already aftermarket and it looks like this does not work. So unfortunately I can't answer that. Now, with the power off, we can get started. This specific head unit has a little removable faceplate, so we'll start by removing that. We also have a little bezel here, which we will also remove. And now we need to remove the unit itself. So we're going to want to get head unit removal keys, and then we're going to find out how it's installed, because I don't know. I don't know how well it was done, so we're going to find out. If you're interested in seeing how to remove the factory head unit, I did an install from stock to aftermarket. I'll leave a link in the video description. I am not sure what type of keys these are. So we got a set of head unit removal keys. Oh. Yeah, it looks like the whole cage is not secured properly. All right, now I have to see, did they do something messy or did they use an adapter? They did use an adapter. Okay. All right, we'll unplug this. So this power connector, I do have to point out they may be aftermarket because this is already a aftermarket head unit. We have a antenna adapter already, that's great. And a microphone's already wired in up onto the headliner. So So this harness right here has all the audio cables. So gray and gray with a stripe, white with a black stripe, green with a black stripe, and purple with a black stripe. These are the four corners. And essentially this is already an adapter for this car. So we don't undo this. There we go. See, this was plugged into the factory unit, and this is the adapter. I'm not going to go into too much detail on this adapter and this wiring. It'll be unique to your car. This one clearly has some extra stuff that is a little questionable on the back end. I'm going to work on connecting all of these to our new harness, and I'll be right back. All right, so the first thing I'm going to do is wire up the audio wires. You can do this outside of the car too. It's entirely up to you. And essentially, we're going to match up the colors here. So this is the adapter harness. I'll leave a link to a similar one in the video description. And you want to match up the colors. So purple to purple, green to green. And you want to keep in mind that one wire has a black stripe for the negative side, solid color is the positive side. So I'll wire these up. These are the four corners. Front left, front right, rear right. And that's how we're going to get audio from our new head unit to the speakers. If you have the Harman Kardon system, go check out my other video. It's a little more involved if you want to retain the Harman Kardon amplifier. Black and green to black and green. All right, that's wired up. So now we're going to wire up our other harness that goes to the head unit. The most important ones are battery positive, it's constant 12 volt, ground, and ACC, which is switched power. You also have key 1 and key 2. This will depend on your car. This specific Mini doesn't have steering wheel controls, so we won't be able to use them. But on more standard harnesses, you have illumination wire, antenna wire if you need to turn on an aftermarket amplifier or a factory amplifier, and some other things. But I'm going to focus on those. So connect these up and we'll be right back. All right, now that we're done our wiring for that, these are connected. We'll test it out in just a bit. Take our cable here. I recommend popping this down, or you can run, depending on the car you have, you can run it over. You find a place behind to fish it through, and so we can run it to the back. In this car, we can kind of reach back here and pull it through. And you do the same thing for your microphone. In our case, it's already wired up. And since we have all of that, we can start thinking about putting our cage in. So we want to put all these through here. And then we would want to pop that in and then push in the tabs to lock it in. Since we're still testing out right here, I'm going to leave it as is for now, and then we'll make adjustments later. All right, so we could take our plugs now. See, this one has a little tab in the middle. The one for the power is a little offset, so you can't get them mixed up. Put in our microphone right here. We'll put in our camera right here. Antenna over here. Power and other connectors right here. Snaps in. Speakers right here, and put all that in and slide it. And I'm not going to slide it in all the way because otherwise it'll snap in. So it looks like it's going to fit nicely here, which is great. Now let's see if it powers up. Yep, there we go. All right, awesome, that's working. So you have our volume, Android Auto, Apple CarPlay, radio, Bluetooth. I guess let's start with CarPlay. You can see right here we have the instructions, seat car, PT EC23. Find that right here. Enter your PIN, it's 4 zeros. And you can also use a USB cable if you want to use wired Apple CarPlay. And we're in. That looks really nice. Let me see something. Scroll down from the top, turn up the brightness, adjust the volume on the fly, turn off the display, mute, and go to EQ. You can toggle through it. Classic, rock, pop, soft, user. And if we go to music, works well. Nice and responsive too. And of course, you have your standard Apple CarPlay functions. We'll go into that a little more after. Awesome. All right, so now they've done that, what we can do is secure the cage here, because we want to make sure that this doesn't slide out every time. Okay, see here, there's a little lip. You can feel it right there. There's a little lip, so we push these tabs up to lock it in, and on the sides there's a tiny little grip, so we probably push those out too. So when we do that, it should lock it in. Push them down in the bottom as well. And then something to keep in mind when you use the retrieval keys is that what these do is they will go in and push these catches out. I'll push them back, but you also have this little catch right here, which will grab the side of the head unit and let you pull it out. So for that, you would, like I mentioned earlier, punch through this, slide it into release, and pull it back. Okay, so I've secured the cage. I'm gonna just pop that in. There we go. And we're set on this side. Now that we've installed the head unit, let's worry about the dash cam. So we're gonna take this wire, the extension for it, and we're gonna bring it to the back. So what I'm gonna do is actually run it over, so I'm gonna run it down along the side over here and up in the trim. So we're gonna run this out of the footwell area here. And we actually wanna feed it through the side panel over here first. And this is exactly the same place you would run your microphone as well. So get this panel open. You can feed the cable through here. You can see the microphone cable is running up this way, behind the headliner and stuff, right here. But we're gonna do the same. We're gonna pull our camera cable through here, and we're gonna leave the length out before we put it away, because we'll tuck all the extra length back here. So we'll work from back to front, but we're gonna run it out of here first. So untangle this. You don't wanna have any knots. Feed it through over here. Pull it through, leave that, and then we'll bring this to the trunk. Okay, now at the back, I have the pre-facelift version of this R53 Mini Cooper. And for that, the place we can tap into the reverse play is actually in here. So there's a little harness right here, and I've figured out that the color of the wire for the reverse light is blue with a yellow stripe. And you can confirm that. If you pop this off, you can see right here, blue with a yellow stripe. And that is in this harness here. That part goes to the tail light, and this one right here goes back there through a grommet, and you can see it right here, blue with the yellow stripe. So we're gonna tap into that. And also you notice there's brown wires. Those all actually are grounds. You can actually see right here, all those brown wires go right there, and they ground into the chassis. So we can tap into a brown wire for ground. So let's work on that. And what we're gonna use that for is with this. So I'm gonna tap the blue with the yellow stripe into the red here. Black wire will get tapped into a ground. And I'm gonna use T-taps. I've had good experiences with them. Ultimately, what you use is up to you. So if you do it, make sure you leave yourself enough room to repair it if you need to. So we can actually go back here, find it inside this harness wrap here. I'm gonna strip our power wires. This one into the ground T-tab. Power right here. And now to test, we can connect that to the camera and our extension right here. It turns out there's one other connection to make up front behind the head unit for the backup camera to work. So here I just connected the back wire on the harness to the 12-volt signal on the extension. So what we're going to do is we're also going to tap into that reversing 12-volt signal to get 12 volts here to tell the head unit to switch to the backup camera display. So that red wire that comes off of the extension, I tapped into the red side of the power plug that's tapped in over there. And now it sends a signal to the head unit and it powers a camera. So now we can pick a spot to mount this and we're good to go with a backup camera. There we go. Now we put the car in reverse, automatically comes on and automatically displays. Here we go. Cool. Now since we need these wires to come over, we're gonna have to have this start over here, and we can wedge this up in the headliner. Maybe tuck these in there, maybe behind the headliner. Like that, something like that. Now, depending on where you want to mount this, you can mount it on the glass up here, or you can mount it by the headliner over here. Over here, we want to tuck these wires away, so you probably want to have them come out through here. So maybe you want to disconnect the T-taps for a bit while you route that behind there. Tuck it back here and tuck it in, and then run the extra wire back here. And then we can run this along the headliner, along the window, and along the door seal up to the front. Any extra length we could either tuck in the headliner or in the footwell down there. As we come over from the back, feed this in, make sure you have enough length and slack. If you need to, you can use a trim tool like this. Push it in. Pop the panel back in, and it's invisible. Put this panel back in place. There we go, wired up. All right, so that's the head unit with the backup camera set up. We got CarPlay, put the car in reverse, automatically comes on, and automatically shuts back off when you take it out of gear. So let's do a tour of the interface. As you can see, all the way on the left, we have the radio, which works. Choose band, you can search specifically. I'm in the garage, so it's not ideal right now. We can also click and drag. So I'm in a garage right now, so it's not ideal. Back out of that. We got CarPlay, which we're already connected. We saw that earlier. You can play. Go to our settings here, change the wallpaper if we want. I want something a little greener because there's a kind of a green theme going on in this car. We'll set that. Go back home. Looks nice. You can choose to have dark theme. That'll look nice. And yeah, cool. Now if we can go back to the main menu here. Android Auto, you can't do while Apple CarPlay is connected, so we'll do that in a little bit. USB would be if you have something plugged in here with your own files, for example. Bluetooth right here. That'll bring you to your phone, but if you don't have CarPlay connected, it'll bring you to Bluetooth phone calls. There are clock settings here. You can set all that. We got AV in if you have other video inputs on the back. We've got our setup here. So, we got beep toggle, reverse mute toggle, driving band video, you want to leave that off if you want CarPlay or stuff like that. Touch calibration if you need to recalibrate. Choose your tuner region for the radio. This is where you'd program your steering wheel keys. Like I said, I don't have any steering wheel controls in this car. Factory set, this is for advanced settings. We got our sound settings, so you can get an EQ here. Tune it to whatever your preference is. You can adjust the pre-built ones. You can turn loudness on. Actually, loudness usually has a good result. So let's see. Makes it feel a little fuller, sound a little fuller, which is nice. Our display settings here. You can choose the brightness, contrast, saturation. Your wallpaper in here on the unit. Theme selection. Now this is where things can be a little interesting. So you see we have this theme, but we could go to something a little different. Let's go for this one. And see, there we go. So now it's organized slightly differently. We got CarPlay, Android Auto, radio, Bluetooth, USB, AVN phone link, and setup. And screensaver on after 10 minutes. and it'll just show a clock. Okay. System language you can choose. Again, the clock as we saw earlier, and our OS information. Very nice. Now I've disconnected my iPhone, and what we're going to do is we're going to go to Android Auto here, and we're going to connect it the same way we did earlier with the iPhone. See right here, CarBT EC23. Enter the pin, which is listed right here. And again, alternatively, you can plug it in for wired CarPlay or wired Android Auto right here. And there we go, we're in Android Auto. And again, all the apps that are installed on your phone that are compatible with Android Auto will show up in here. So go to Spotify. We're gonna let's do a podcast.
Incompetence, and you're being incompetent right now. Oh man, be quiet. Let me do.
So there you go. So when you're in Android Auto or Apple CarPlay and you want to change some settings on the fly, you can swipe down, you can turn up the brightness, turn up the volume, mute, go to EQ, go to Bluetooth, turn off the display if you want. If you're driving at night, you don't want any brightness, but you want to still listen to stuff, keep listening. And just like in Apple CarPlay, there's a little exit button here to bring you back to the main screen. And here you can see our wallpaper that we chose earlier. All right, and our last thing is phone link. So these are the types of connections you can do. So you can see we have a couple of options for the iPhone connections and a couple of options for Android. We got CarPlay, Mirror, and AirPlay. Then Android Auto, Mirror, and wireless screen mirroring, which is with a special app. You download the APK and all that. So we're going to demo this with AirPlay. So we're going to connect our iPhone to this Wi-Fi here, CarPlay_Wi-Fi. So in my case, that's right here. Password is 1234567 Join. So in our settings, we can go to screen mirroring right here. Hit the car. There we go. Now, obviously, by default, when you're in the menus, it's going to be vertical. But let's load up a video on horizontal.
Hey everyone, I'm Nick, and today we're checking out two cars that are new to the channel. Recently, you may have seen the road trip
Plays through the
videos where we
speakers,
showed these two cars 2,400 miles
and you control it from your phone here.
to New Jersey. This car doesn't have a B-pillar, so with the windows down, it gives a wide open view.
So that's pretty cool. You got a little button here if you want to get back to your home menu. So very cool. That looks good. Awesome. And it's really nice and sleek with the small screen. I love that it has a volume knob. Really easy to adjust on the fly. So this is a huge upgrade from the previous radio, which was, CD player, basic LCD display. Now you actually get wireless Apple CarPlay, wireless Android Auto, a backup camera. That's really convenient. So that's great. So that's the Eonon X3U. It's a really convenient upgrade for cars that only have a single DIN slot and maybe don't have room for a taller screen. Just fit right in, just like a factory unit. It's also really nice to add wireless Android Auto and wireless Apple CarPlay. It really modernizes the car. And the addition of the backup camera means it really has everything you could ask for. I want to say a big thank you to Eonon for sending me this unit to review, and if you want to get one for yourself, I'll leave a link in the video description. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to leave a like, and if you have any questions, let me know down in the comments. If you want to see more videos like this, be sure to subscribe. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.